Alright guys, it's finally time. After a year of waiting, we've finally done it. Airsoft GI is no longer Airsoft GI. We are now Paintball GI. We got the new Push Unite goggles, mask, whatever you want to call it in. So we're just Paintball now. So let's talk about it.
Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you enjoy watching our content, show us some love by liking the video, and ring the bell to make sure you get notified whenever we drop new content. We appreciate you all.
Oh wait, what'd you say? Oh, we're not changing to Paintball GI? We're staying Airsoft GI? Oh, these are just for the Speedy Boys? So is that why I'm here? This is literally all I'm good for here. Just speed soft stuff. So if you've never heard of the Push Unite goggles before, you're probably thinking, wow, these are some pretty cool looking dye masks. Now, you are not wrong to assume that because the owner of Push did work for dye for a very long while, but decided to take a step out and create his own brand called Push, and he came out with this Unite model. Now, you'll soon see that as we get into the features of this mask, there are some design similarities, but also some key differences that make it stand apart from the dye line. And you could say it's same, but different, or possible lawsuit. So first off, let's talk about the overall look of the mask. Now, as you can tell, it has that very aggressive dye style, like sharp lines, sharp edges, insectoid, big lens. But the overall profile of it is actually similar to the i4 instead of the i5. When I actually put it on my face, the cheek protector right here is actually smaller than the dye i5, which makes it closer to the dye i4 form-fitting wise. Now, Push does sell extenders that you can add on if you really wanted to protect more of your jawline or your neck. But this base model does cut at about right where my jawline hits, right about here. Overall comfort though, it is more flexible than the i4 and the i5 in terms of the cheek area. So as you can see, it's very flexible, very soft, has almost like a silicone kind of feel. So that lends itself to more comfort. When I was wearing my dye i5, it's very big. The cheek well is very large around my face. And sometimes when I want to tuck in a little bit deeper, if I'm holding a tight corner, those very stiff cheek wells kind of dig into my shoulder and push my mask up. So I really like how soft this is, so that even if you do press up against a M4 buffer tube, you can kind of flex onto it a little bit better. So comfort wise, you don't need to get a drop stock, that kind of thing. Some of the other things that this goggle comes with is the just basic paintball mask strap on the back, as well as your chin strap. Now, Push does sell a fancy magnetic and cushioned chin strap that you can buy separately, but let's be honest, nobody really uses chin straps. And if you do, you're probably the kid that was fully covered up in bubble wrap when he was trying to learn how to bike. I mean, just check the comments, we'll find that kid. Moving on to the lens now. The lens and the field of view from this mask is very, very similar to the dye i4 and the i5. I would say a little bit less than the i5 just because the i5 has a bigger profile, but it does still lend that very wide field of view. You won't have any issues, seeing at the corner of your eyes or finding targets in darker areas. So the Push Unite mask features multiple venting slots throughout the entire mask, which makes it very breathable. You don't feel like you're breathing in your own air, and that also helps with communication. Some of the other paintball masks that are offered in the market kind of echo inside of your face whenever you talk or need to communicate with your teammates, and it makes you sound very muffled. But with the Unite mask, since there are tons of vents and since it sits a little bit higher up on your chin, your voice is able to travel out to your teammates easier and you don't get that muffled feeling. And of course, better airflow for you, so you're not drenched in sweat and drinking your own sweat, which it sucks. Now, of course, let's talk about how comfortable this mask feels on your face. When you put it on, the pads on here are actually very comfortable. I would say they're a little bit thinner than the dye i5 cushioning, but better quality than the dye i4 cushioning. It's like a nice blend in between. But the biggest feature that makes this mask stand out from the dye masks is that around the bridge of the nose, there is an adjustment screw that you can tinker with that changes the angle of how far the bridge of the nose sits on your face. So if you have a weird nose or a bigger nose or a smaller nose, you can fine tune this mask bridge nose bridge, the area that holds on your nose, basically to however comfortable you want it, which is a great feature that I wish was included in my dye mask, because I do find that sometimes the, what am I saying? The bridge of the nose, it'll start to slide down on me when I start to run fast and my mask starts to jump around on my face. I do find that the bridge of the nose starts to slide down a little bit. So with this guy, you can push it so that it sits a little bit tighter. So if that's a feature that is a deal breaker for you, check it out on this guy. Another feature that separates the push mask from other masks on the market is the breakdown ability. Now, that's not a word, I made it up, but now it's a word. So this guy, you can actually take apart every single little bit and replace it or just clean it. Personally, for me, I would break it down just to clean it, because after a long day of play, there's a lot of sweat and gunk in there, and I just want to have easy access to, the grills or the foam padding to clean it out. And this guy, luckily, is very easily breakdownable. That's a word, right? If not, it's a word now. All the little parts can be exchanged for newer parts. So like, let's say this little cheek flap is starting to bend or wear out. Push actually sells separate cheek flaps for you to change out, even in a different color probably. But the biggest one is that you can change out the foam on the inside of your mask. They do sell separate ones. So if you do start to break it down, or it's starting to get, worn down or torn apart, you can just easily replace one and feel like a fresh new mask again. The Push Unite paintball mask is shooting at about 0 FPS with 0.20 gram BBs and is shooting at 0 RPS with an 11.1 LiPo. But when you wear it, you do have +3 to your speed, and if you wear a tinted lens, you do get +5 to your intimidation factor. The Push Unite paintball mask is retailing for $200 at airsoftgi.com. And at this point, if you guys are not using the Wombo combo, you might as well just give me the leftover money, because apparently you got money to spend and you don't want to save any money.
But Kevin, that's so expensive for just a mask.
Now listen, I will present to you one word that is very prominent in this Beats Off community for some reason. Clout. Clout is not cheap. So in all seriousness, this mask is for those who don't like running that M4 drop stock style look, since the cheek well is flexible enough for you to cheek up against your buffer tube and get a sight picture. It's also for those who really like to clean their masks or customize it in multiple ways, since you can break it apart so easily and swap it out with different parts. It's also much more comfortable than the Dye i4, and I would say a worthy upgrade if you're looking for a new mask, but don't want that giant profile from the i5. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning into my TED Talk about the Push Unite paintball masks. We offer these puppers in multiple different colorways, kind of like Baskin Robbins, but a little bit more painful. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as letting us know in the comments what flavor you will be picking. Be sure to ring the bell icon above to be notified of whenever we upload new videos. We do upload every Wednesday and Friday, so be sure to tune in to check out our newest videos. This is Kevin from Airsoft GI, and I pick gold. Come on, obvious choice. I mean, this is kind of like black to gold, but this is like gold, so I'll go with the gold. See ya.
What's going on? Oh, come on, bring it, come on, you can't do it. Come on, do it. Yeah. Another one. I love